Chicago Bears fans. Welcome to the Bears Den podcast. I am joined by Todd. I'm joined by G. Walker from C&G Podcast, and I'm joined by the bad guy, Chicago Clarence. So, guys, it is Victory Tuesday. We're a little late with our victory show because some of us were on vacation and some of us had tickets to Panthers games, but we're still celebrating a victory. So, Todd, I'll start with you. How are you feeling?
About the team, I feel great.
Yes.
Yeah. It was really good. It was good. The Keenan Allen, that was really. I mean, obviously Caleb. That's the story, but it was good. Good to see Keenan get some run and really happy.
G. Walker, how are you feeling about what you saw on the field Sunday?
Man, I feel good, man. It just feels like, even though we're playing bad teams, we're not struggling with bad teams. We're blowing them out with the generational quarterback that we have. Everything is working in his favor as far as like being a complementary football team as far as offense and defense. So it felt good to actually see us blow out a team that we would have struggled in the past with a bad team. So the fact that we're blowing out teams that are bad lets me know that we're heading in the right direction.
So, Chicago Clarence, I'm going to ask you a different question. So what do you say to the people that are clowning us, making fun of us, saying we ain't beat nobody and we can't win? And we're just beating a bunch of losing teams.
Well, it's not like that. They're not telling the truth. We haven't beat anybody, but we have beaten who was on our schedule.
Like we see stuff like this on the internet.
Yeah, we don't make our own schedule. We have to play and beat the teams that are on our schedule. Those same people who are clowning us and having stuff to say will have even more to say had we been losing to these teams. So what are we supposed to do?
I don't know what we're supposed to do.
We can't win.
No, we can't win for losing. That old saying. We can't win for losing. So, guys, I'm sure all you guys know we are in the toughest division in football. That is our division right now.
Yep.
We're 17-5. There's not a team in this division that has a losing record.
Man, that's crazy.
So before I get into this, I just want to say, Aiden Hutchinson, please get well. Please say some prayers for Aiden Hutchinson. Nobody deserves that. Nobody wants to win like that. So, Todd,
yes.
What does this do for the Chicago Bears with what happened to Aiden Hutchinson?
Well, you hate to think about it like that, but injuries happen. You can't control it.
Yeah.
Whether it's Goff or one of their receivers, whoever else. Hutchinson is a force, and it's one less thing we're going to have to worry about. And you give the choice. Hey, you don't want to see a guy go down, obviously, but yeah, we play them tough, and he's been part of when they've had success against us. He'll make 2 or 3 plays that are just outstanding and just kill a drive. So it's good for us, but you hate to say it, but it's true.
Chicago Clarence, you want to add anything to that?
I echo that. Just what Todd said. It's unfortunate, but injuries are part of the game. We've had our share of injuries. I hate to have to go all this way back, but when we played in the Super Bowl last against the Indianapolis Colts, we lost our defensive tackle, Tommy Harris. And guess what Indianapolis did to us? Ran the balls right down our throat. Wouldn't have happened had Tommy Harris been in there. We played a large part of those times without our safety, Mike Brown. In 86, when we were defending champions, we lost our quarterback. So injuries are part of it. I hate, life is bigger than games. Let me just say that. I'm hoping that they're able to save his leg and he's able to rehabilitate and have a life. But injuries is part of the game, and we're going to benefit along with the other 3 teams at this guy not being able to, because he's that good of a player, but it's the next man up mentality. That's the reason why we have been getting posed his flowers, how deep we are right now. A lot of people are looking at, look at our secondary and how they performed this past Sunday. How deep we were. We had good players that did not make this football team. You had what's the guy's name? Was it Blackwell who got in there and got an interception?
Yes.
Hicks made plays. That whole secondary was all over the place. So next man up mentality.
G. Walker, what do you think of the Aiden Hutchinson injury? I mean, it definitely weakens the Lions. It definitely makes their defense a little less imposing.
Yeah, you never want to see a guy go down like that, man. Injuries are part of the game. It's unfortunate, but that's mentality. So the fact that it went down, but we got to march on, man. Hopefully he can get his leg back together. He can get his career back on track when it's time. I hope they don't force him to come back too early. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but it's a part of the game. It's a part of the game nobody likes to see from a fan base or a team that's in your division that you don't necessarily care for. It's just the person that you care about, and unfortunately, it happened to him. And hopefully, he can resurrect his career and he can just get better down the road, and he can come back and be the monster that he was as far as leading the league in sacks.
I agree with that 100%. So, guys, let's get to the Bears and Jaguars. So, in case you were living under a rock, we beat them. We beat them soundly. We beat them badly. I mean, we went into London, handled our business against a losing team. And yes, we're being clowned for it. But the first quarter, guys, what can we do in that first quarter to get us going? I mean, we had 0 first downs, almost 0 yards. We looked like trash in that first quarter again. We have looked like trash in the first quarter most of the year. Todd, what can we do to light a spark in this first quarter?
Well, I think, and I didn't know we weren't doing this, but, they talked about, going into this game, doing the scripted plays and all that, so you know what you're expecting. I don't know. We just come out of the gate and they have to piss us off before they'll do anything. But then they'll end up blowing them out. But it was aggravating, no question. I mean, it's like they were all over they were just running their first down after first down, just all over us, and we got it together. But we need to come out of the gate stronger, especially when we're going into a meatier part of the schedule. Every possession is going to matter on those.
G. Walker, what can we do in that first quarter to light a fire under this team?
We said what we could do better.
Yeah, I mean, what can we do?
I mean, we could just play to Caleb Williams' strengths, man. We could just play to our running back strength. We could just play to our wide receiver strength. We could just play to everybody's strengths. Like, that coming to this game that you have to exploit matchup. Coming to this game that Caleb Williams can throw off-platform throws. Swift can catch it out of the backfield. So the fact that you're starting off not getting into the groove early lets me further know that Shane Waldron's doing things his way. Still. No matter what it is, he's still trying to do things his way. So once he went back to what was working the past 2 weeks, as far as like letting Caleb decide what he wants to do, we took off. So I just think we just need to stay with what works from the jump, because we're going to have to play those division teams that are everybody in that division has a winning record. We got to start off at the gate, up tempo, and letting Caleb go to work instead of this, I'm going to do it my way type of situation. And once we figure that out, that's the way to go. Let Caleb be Caleb. With that offense, then we'll be better in first quarters.
So, Chicago Clearance, let me ask you. You and I both noticed this. I think we commented on C&G's podcast. Should we just scrap huddling at all and just go fast right out the gate?
No, I don't think that you go fast out of the gate. What you want to do is you want to keep defenses off balance. So I think what we should do, and we should start the game out of, is single back formations on the center. Starting the game out in shotgun. I mean, game in and game out. We have seen that does not work, and that's exactly what we did this game right here. We came right out. We tried to run the ball out of the shotgun. It got stuffed, and we had to make the Jaguars believers that Caleb Williams could throw the ball. You saw they had 8-9 people in the box. And they was committed to shutting down that our ring game. So we had to make believers out of them. So it wasn't until we started going up tempo, they let Caleb Williams call plays from the line. They gave him 2 or 3 plays and he called the play. And you saw him doing his thing, doing a lot of shifting, changing plays, doing audibles. And that is his strength. They let him do that at USC religiously. That is his strength. We need to play to his strengths. And we need to give the offensive line some love. Those
Yeah.
guys have been blocked. Their pass protection has been a lot better. Now, I don't think for 1 second it's championship level.
No, I don't.
And we're going to find out when we go against the Minnesota Vikings, when we go against the Detroit Lions, and we go against the Green Bay Packers. They will be sternly tested. But I'm going to call it like I see it. From what we see now, based on what we saw against the Texans and the Indianapolis Colts, night and day.
Yeah.
Pass protection, run blocking as well.
I wish we could play those two teams again because we really needed that win against the Colts.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
take this team now and how they performing right now. And if we played the Texans and if we played the Colts tomorrow, I don't think we lose those games.
No. So how good is this guy? He got player of the game, no surprise. This is our rookie quarterback. Let me ask you guys something. Do any of you guys think we made the wrong move this offseason by
Let me say this. CJ, if you in here right now, CJ, I'm on my phone right now. Can you please share the podcast to our page? Can you please share their podcast to our page, CJ? I can't do it right now because I'm on my phone. I can't leave StreamYard. Thanks. Go ahead, Andy. I'm sorry.
Do any of you guys think we made the wrong move now by taking this? I know it's only 6 games. I get that we're Chicago Bears fans. We've been watching this movie for 100 years. But does anybody on this podcast regret what we did this offseason by taking this kid number 1?
I'm gonna say no, man. I'm gonna say no.
Take does a no.
No, hell no.
No. I'm a hard no. I'm a very hard no.
Anytime they make a video,
6 games. Yeah.
Anytime you make a video and go in slow motion of a quarterback going through his first read, his second read, and his third read, and his fourth read, there is a video of Caleb Williams going through his progressions in slow motion, bro.
Yes.
I don't ever recall Justin Fields going through his progressions up to the 4th progression, bro. There was throws in that game against the Jaguars that Caleb Williams was throwing to his 3rd and 4th progression, bro. So anytime you got that type of quarterback that can get to his 3rd and 4th progression and still throw the ball in under 3 seconds, there's no regrets. Hell no. Not at all. Not at all. Hell no.
No, I'm a hard no. I mean, I don't know where ceiling is gonna be, but I'm excited to see where the ceiling's gonna be because I think it's gonna be high. I really do. Todd, Clarence, you want to add anything about this kid?
What else is there to say? I mean, he's the best we've ever had already in 6 games. I mean, it's crazy, but it's the best I've ever seen going back to late 70s. So, yeah.
I can't think of a quarterback. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm excited to see where he ends up. I know we're judging him on 6 games. I get that. God knows we've been trying to get this right for 100 years, but I have never seen a quarterback like this with this jersey on. I have not seen it.
God-given, man. It's just God-given ability, man, matched with a little bit of swagger, a little bit of attitude, toughness, mental. You know, he threw that 1 interception, man, and it's like it didn't even matter, bro. I mean, I'm going to give you 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns.
That is a passing chart. That is a guy that sees the entire field. That ball is, you might can argue, is sprayed a little more to the left, maybe. I mean, but whatever. That quarterback is using the entire field. I mean, the entire field. Chicago Clarence, anything you want to say about CW?
Well, if you look at the passing chart, the one thing that stands out to me. Do you see how he's threatened the defense in the middle of the field?
Yeah,
man, he destroyed that middle of the field.
You know, and we're not used to seeing that. You know, we're not used to seeing that happen without interceptions, should I say?
Right.
You know, when and the reason why that is so key is because most NFL defenses play in the zone. Mm-hmm. So when your receivers are able to get down, get behind defenders, and sit down in the zone, and you're able to get the ball to them, that stuff matters. And for years, for decades, we haven't had that. We haven't had quarterbacking to this level in my lifetime, and I'm 52 years old.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't had it. So we don't know how to act looking at what we're looking at right now, because we just not used to. We're used to seeing teams like, you know, Green Bay and the 49ers and AFC teams have quarterbacks like that perform at a level that this guy is performing. So at the end of the day, the litmus test for me is what's going to happen when we play against the Green Bay Packers, because every other team in our division we have been able to beat. Even in the vaunted Detroit Lions, we have performed well against them. I want to see what happens when we go against the Green Bay Packers. You know, am I excited at what this kid might be? Yes. But, you know, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
We ain't done this against a good defense yet.
No, we haven't.
We have not. You know, we've done what we're supposed to do, which is beat up on the sisters of the poor. So you get an A for that. But you got to beat the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
That's what matters. If you want to go to the playoffs, you have got to be able to beat the Green Bay Packers. If you want to be relevant in this division, you have got to be able to beat the Green Bay Packers, because it's the only team that we don't perform well, and we look badly against them a lot of times. The Urlacher teams could not beat them. You know, and those were some of the best defenses we ever had. For some reason, we still can't beat the Packers. So when we go through our schedule, we got Washington, we got Arizona, we got New England, we got those three teams coming up. Washington, to me, is the better of the bunch.
Oh, yeah.
When we face against the Green Bay Packers to open up division play, we should be 7-2. If we if we are a for real football team, we will be 7-2. Because guess what? That same Packer team I just got through talking about destroyed Arizona last week. They don't mess around. So Washington came back down to earth a little bit, playing against a defense. They're going to see that same type of defense in 2 weeks when we hit the town. You know, but that's a team that their defense is not good. You know, we should be able to perform well against them. We shut the run down and put the onus on Daniels, and let's really see what he has. So, like I said before, I'm tempering my enthusiasm because I want to see what we do against the Packers.
So, guys, thank you everybody that's commented so far. A lot of you just said hello. We appreciate that. Trent Berry, dude, Will Levis. And guys, I know Trent Berry. He works with me. He's a Packers fan, and he's a Kentucky fan. He doesn't know any better. He's from Kentucky. But yes, I'm very excited with our quarterback. So, guys, let me ask you something else. Nate Davis was a healthy scratch. Is he done? Is he done?
Yeah.
Is he done in Chicago? Is he going to get cut?
Hell
Is he
yeah.
going to get cut?
He could get cut. He could get cut.
Because
I mean, for him to get back on the field, we would have to lose a lot of guys. I mean, I think they'd play anybody on that line before they'd play him.
My main question is Ryan Bates and Larry Borum. I'm not sure when they're eligible to come off the IR, but usually when you bring somebody off the IR, you usually cut the same position. So if you bring Bates off the IR, you send Nick Davis packing, you tell him bye.
Yeah.
Even though we're not going to save any money this year, we save no money.
Right.
At $10 million, we're going to save next year if he's not on our roster.
Right.
So Chicago Clarence, you're shaking your head no. So what do you do when Bates is eligible to come back? Who do you cut?
Let me tell you why. I'm only cutting him if I absolutely am forced to. But let's keep in mind, we've got three guys on that offensive line that's got a history of getting hurt.
Yeah.
That's Tevin Jenkins, that's Bates, and that's Larry Borum. So if you don't keep him from any other reason but for depth, plain and simple, you park his behind on that bench and you don't activate him until you absolutely have to. But you do not cut him just despite the fact that he ain't played well, because we have paid him. We've given him the money that we said we were going to give him. Okay. Now we haven't gotten out of the deal what we was expecting to get back, but for nothing else, but for the sake of having depth, we keep him because we know history has told us Tevin Jenkins is going to miss games. Histories have told us Ryan Bates is going to miss games, and I don't even have to remind you about Larry Borum. So no. We do not cut him unless we absolutely have to, simply because of the math.
So let me ask you: we bring Bates back. We have to cut somebody. We have to. The numbers say we got to be 53 or less. So who do you cut?
I cut Velus Jones before I cut Ryan. Before I cut Davis. What do we need Velus Jones for?
That's true. So if we bring Bates and Borum back, who are we cutting then?
Velus Jones.
No, we got to cut somebody else if we bring.
So
Borum
you
back.
got Velus Jones as my number one prime cut candidate.
And
then
is Dominique Robinson still here?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's who I was getting ready to say. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Let me ask you guys.
Cut Dominique.
He's been a bust.
Are you guys surprised at all that we are predominantly a 11 team? 3 wide receivers. We do not go to 4 wide receivers ever. I mean, Tyler Scott, I'm not knocking him, but you guys surprised at all that we don't use 4 wide receiver sets?
I mean, he just can't get on the field, man.
He
just can't get on the field. I was thinking about that today, like why he's not on the field. It's just that we're too loaded at wide receiver, man. I was like, man, why is he not playing? But you can't do nothing with him. Like, we don't need him.
You
like,
know
I was
why?
telling my boy who's a Dallas Cowboy fan, I said, look, man, give us Micah Parsons, and we'll give you an unused Khalil Herbert and an unused Tyler Scott in 2/3.
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Carter has taken Tyler Scott snaps.
Yeah,
because Tyler Scott cannot catch a cold playing, and so that's the reason why he can't get on the field.
And Carter's look good. Carter's look fine.
Carter's look good. Yep.
And I feel like the coaching staff probably thinks Cole Kmet is better than our 4th wide receiver. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, I would roll with the way we've been doing it. But I was just thinking about that today. Like we do not use a 4 wide receiver set at all with this team. So, guys, let me ask you something. How concerned are you with Kyler Gordon? All I see on the injury report is hamstring. I mean, that could be.
They take a while to heal. They take a while to heal. That's all I can say. But he's young. He got youth on his side.
If it's a complete tear, that's usually months of recovery. A partial tear is usually a month. A strain or a pull is, day to day or game to game. So how concerned are you guys if we could lose Kyler Gordon for an extended period of time?
Concerned. Yeah, I'm very concerned.
I'm very concerned
because you can put him in some packages with those blitzes, man, and that is something that's so valuable to have a nickel corner come in there and do that, to throw that off that quarterback off and that offensive line off. Even if he don't get it, somebody else is going to get that sack. So the fact that you can dial him up and put him in that positions to get those sacks when we need them, man, at that nickel, the blitzing like that is something that I don't want to see go away for, especially when we get to these division games, man. So it's very concerning, man. I hope we just get healthy, man, for real.
Yeah, I mean, not even the sacks, just at the line of scrimmage or minimal gains. He's a tackling machine for his size.
Yes.
That's the issue because he's had injury issues before. I had him last year. He leaves it all out there, and he gets beat up because he's a smaller guy as a nickel. But man, I love the way he plays.
Man, worth every penny. Hope he get paid too.
Yeah, Chicago Clarence. I know you're going to answer yes. You're concerned, but if we lose him for an extended period of time, that really makes our defense weaker. How are you feeling about? I mean, the injury report just says hamstring. That could mean so many things.
Well, the fact that they haven't given us anything definitive is good news. If it was a tear, they would know about it by now, and they would have already said it. And they would have made the necessary roster decisions that they put him on the IR. The fact that he's not sitting on the IR right now is very good news. So it's just something that's going to take some time to heal. But as I said 10 minutes ago, we got the depth in the secondary to withstand it. Is it going to change things up a little bit? Yeah. But let's be honest. If I had to lose somebody, he would be the guy. I don't want to lose Brisker for multiple games. I don't want to lose Jalen Johnson for multiple games. I don't want to lose Stevenson for multiple games. So if I had to pick one guy in the secondary that I had to lose, it would
It's
be
Gordon.
him.
It's Gordon. That's a good point. Good point. Yeah, that's true.
Or
That's true. When you
maybe
say it like that,
Byard.
that's true. That's true.
I might would go with a deeper safety and lose Byard if I had to pick one, but Byard had a good game the other day, so
Byard's been sneaky good.
Really good.
He's been
Really good.
He's been the exact opposite of Eddie Jackson. He's one to come
Facts.
up and make tackles.
man, I love some Eddie Jackson. Come
And
on.
bat some balls away too.
Yeah.
And smack some balls down.
Yeah, but I mean, Byard has been what Eddie Jackson was not. He will come up and make tackles. He's a quality guy. You don't ever hear about him. But you don't see him getting beat on the field or out of position.
Nope.
He just didn't want to tackle anybody.
At all.
So, guys, let me ask you something. During the game, we all were screaming when the pass to Brian Robinson. It looked like to us it hit the ground. Like, was that worth a challenge? Like, Eberflus has had a bad career when it comes to challenges. Was that not worth a challenge? Because that drive continued, and Jacksonville put 3 points on that board from that drive and that drop, or not a catch. Should that play have been challenged?
Yeah, because who's up in the booth if it's not Flus seeing it? That was a failure on the whole staff. The only reason why, because we have to get reps, man. You have to get reps, not only throwing the ball and catching and running. Your coach has to be aware of situations, man. That's one of those things that you have to capitalize on when the ball actually hit the grass. And you don't challenge the damn call. That scares me going forward when we in a tight game. It's 14-17 and something crazy happens and Flus doesn't and his staff doesn't do that, man. That's bad, bro. That's bad going forward. I do not like that at all.
Chicago Clarence, were you gotten the red flag out of your sock and threw it on the field?
Man, that thing should have been out, and it wasn't even close. This is the thing that bothers me with Eberflus. We have had plays that was obvious catches, and he challenged them for some dumbass reason. Then you have an obvious, drop, and we don't challenge it. So whoever is up in the booth, buzzing down, giving him advice on this, should have been fired weeks ago. But this is something that should be looked at during the bye week. We've got to get better in that. I mean, because this is going to be something that's going to be pivotal in a late game situation where we need to get the ball back and we need to get off the field and something like this happens and we go the wrong way on challenging, because so far it's been bad. And the two things that I would say he's been horrible at is challenges and his use of timeouts.
Yes.
Critical.
No, timeouts are terrible.
Critical. His use of timeouts is and his clock management skills are horrible. What are you doing? You looking at the play sheet? And this is what happens when you got a coach that's making offensive play calls or defensive play calls, because you ain't paying attention to what's on the field. Yeah. So that's number one. But number two, who's in the booth? That's what they're sitting up there for. They ain't sitting up there so they could drink cocktails and sit in the AC and the heat. They supposed to be making a contribution to the team.
Right.
And it's been bad right now.
You had one job.
You got one job. I've got that patent. I've got that patent.
Yes.
So they ain't been doing it. He's got to get better. Every head coach, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever, your ability to stop the clock for your benefit is pivotal. And his has been bad, really bad. So he's got to get better in that. And like I said before, whoever's operating the booth, you can't depend on New York to bail you out. That's what they give you 2-3 challenges for. You have got to decide when it's time to say, hey, ref, I need you to take another look at that. That's 3 points that came off the board. We could have started off the half in a shutout. How juiced up would your defense have been had they had a chance to think about, well, man, we could shut this team out? Because being able to have a team be shut out in the NFL in these days and times where the rules is geared toward the offenses is, that stuff just don't happen. Even the worst teams can score. You know what I mean? I was at the football game Sunday watching the Carolina Panthers. They're bad. And they even dropped 20 points on Atlanta. So, it's got to get better.
Agree. Yeah, he got to get better, man. That's something, like I said, I'm always the type of person down the road, kicking the can down the road. You see certain things that could come back up later down the road. That stuff like that in a tight game, you don't challenge that where we could really swing us to a win or a loss. That's terrible, man. Somebody should have got fired. That's terrible.
So Todd, I think you agree with everybody that should have been a challenge flag. That's worth a challenge flag.
Yeah,
all
I
day.
mean, somebody in that booth they need to have somebody in there that has the authority to say, yeah, this is it. We're going to do this on this, because the coach has got everything, and I don't want to make excuses for him, because we can have world-class talent, be a Super Bowl team, have the best defensive league, all that stuff. If he's not, if he's not with the other top 10 coaches and making decisions, and then that's going to hurt us. I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, we could be, a top 5 team, but if he's a top 15 coach, that's going to come back to get us. I mean, I hate that. He's got this defense playing unbelievable. I think he's a fantastic defensive coordinator. And, I just, when it comes down to it, I don't think he's going to be the guy that takes us to the Super Bowl. I hate that. I hope he does. I hope he figures it out. He's kind of come out of his shell. We all go back to that Allen Washington thing. Like, that seemed to be the turning point for him last year.
Yes.
And maybe he can grow into this thing and be what we need to. And fingers crossed. We'll see.
Unfortunately, I still think he's the worst coach in the NFC North. Like I mean, does anybody disagree with me?
Yeah, no,
I don't disagree,
no
but you know what? It's looking like what's being set up for him is that his offensive coordinator and his quarterback want to save his job, bro. That's the only thing, man. Caleb up there being able to adjust on the fly, change plays, check his protections. Then you got Shane cooking how he cooking, and they're working together, and the defense is already set. Everything is around him just to keep his job, man. If he doesn't beat the Packers and he pretty much blows these division games this year, he's going to be fired, because he's not the coach, like you're saying, Todd. He's not the coach that could beat our team. He's going to be fired, man. But right now,
if we lose twice to the Packers, I think he's gone.
He's coaching off Shane and Caleb, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that sometimes. Sometimes you just got a good-ass quarterback to make your coach look good.
Yeah, I think Poles will pull that trigger if that happens.
Oh, absolutely. He's gone.
Chicago Clarence, I think we need to beat the Packers just to go 1-1 against them. So I think if we get swept, that takes the tiebreaker right off the table for us.
Right.
But do you agree with these guys? We have to beat the Packers for Flus to keep his job.
Well, everything is going to depend, I think, on us being able to go to the playoffs. The schedule is set up for that. Because everybody in the division has a winning record, then you're going to have to beat them at least once.
Yeah.
But I think that his success is going to, and his ability to hang around is going to depend on whether or not we make it to the playoffs. Now, let's say, for instance, we win 10 games.
Yeah.
We get swept by the Packers, and because the division has been so good, we don't make it to the playoffs. I don't think he gets fired. That's just my opinion. I don't think he gets fired. But anything under 10 games, then it's going to be some hard discussion.
If he goes over in this division, he's toast. That's the only way he's going to lose his job, because he's coasting off Caleb. He's coasting off Caleb and Shane, man, and he's a good defensive coordinator. But Caleb is the multiplier, bro. And Shane is he's coasting. But he go over in this division, you lose to the Lions twice and the Vikings, all that shit. Excuse my language. All that, he's done. He's gone.
Look at last year. Look at last year. Can we all agree that this team right now is better than last year?
Yes.
And the previous team he's had? Yes. He didn't go over in the division then. So I don't. There's nothing that shows me and makes me believe that we can't beat the Detroit Lions or the Minnesota Vikings at least once. But I'm always telling you, we just have not been able to beat the Packers. And you know why? Right. It's not just because the Packers always have had the better quarterback than us. They always have. But they got a better coach.
They do.
And every year, no matter who we hire and fire, they still have a better head coach than we do.
Right.
Matt LaFleur, this is Matt LaFleur's first time being a head coach. This guy comes right in here and he does it like Bill Belichick.
Lost Aaron Rodgers and everything. Didn't skip a beat.
Yes. Did you just see what he did when Jordan Love got hurt?
Yeah.
They were still out there handling business. That's coaching. That's coach. I mean, he calls the offensive plays. The Green Bay's offense is always in the top 10. It's in the top 10 right now.
Yeah.
And he lost his starting quarterback for 2-3 games.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that's just sheer quarterback talent. No, it's not. That's coaching. Coaching matters.
He
The
won
culture
the
in the
league.
locker room matters. Having your team believe in one cause and everybody being able to rally around that matters.
It
Plain
does.
and simple. Making sure that they're able to execute. Because you just can't talk about it in practice. Because if you don't believe me, go to London and ask Peterson right now why his seat is hot. Because your
It's
team
hot.
is not executing. That's a guy who's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's a
Facts.
good coach. He's
Facts,
a good
yeah.
coach.
So don't tell me he don't know what he's talking
of
about
course.
when he's drawing up plays. But when you don't have the ability to make sure that your team goes out there and execute what they're practicing 3 or 4 times a week, that's what gets you fired. And that's why
Yeah.
Peterson is going to be looking for another job. His ass better not lose to the New England Patriots on Sunday, or he's getting a pink slip. I promise you, he is.
So, guys, now we got Clarence wound up.
Yeah, we do.
Hey, he's on fire right now. He cooking. That's what's up.
So let me ask you something. Minnesota's, and do any of you guys believe that Sam Darnold, who's been a career journeyman, can sustain this level of play? I mean, I just feel like they're going to come back down to earth sooner or later. There's no history of him sustaining this level of play. I mean, is it going to come down, or is he now with the right team, right scheme, right coach?
Wow.
And
It just depends. It just depends on a lot of things. But I just think overall, they haven't. You know, look, man, he hasn't played any really meaningful games his whole career. This is his first time winning ever. So you got to play the Bears defense, Caleb Williams. Then you got to play the Packers, Jordan Love, and that defense. Then you got to play the Lions with Jared Goff and like, bro, it's going down. Like I have no belief in Sam Darnold to just keep taking off, especially against our division, the best division in football with those defenses and quarterbacks. No, he'll come down to earth. Trust me.
So Todd, before I answer this question, I'm gonna ask Todd to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Pull up Minnesota Vikings schedule right now. Because the reason why I'm asking that is because, like I just got through telling you, coaching matters.
Right.
Now, if you want to look at the people, because one thing that Sam Darnold shares is he played right here in Carolina for the Carolina Panthers, along with Baker Mayfield. And look what both those guys have done the moment they leave here and go play someplace else. When you got a guy who can put you in positions and have you execute to the level of your strengths, not your weaknesses, not force his scheme on you, Matt Nagy, you know, and utilize what you do well and formulate it into a game plan and have you perform. Todd, read off who Minnesota has played.
They played the Giants.
God.
They blew out the Giants. It was a tight game with the 49ers. That's a legitimate win. They blew out the Texans.
I'm impressed by that score, 34-7.
It was a super tight game against the Packers, so they have a division win. And then they have the Jets, who are, some weeks look better than others. But, yeah, I mean, as far my thoughts on Sam Darnold, he was here and he was good for a handful of games and then terrible, and, and all that time up there with the Jets. I guarantee you, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but he sat on the bench in San Francisco. I bet he learned more sitting on the bench in San Francisco than he ever learned with the Jets or Carolina. That's just the way it is. And I don't know Baker's situation. I don't know that they're geniuses in Tampa, but it's a little more of a winning mentality. After suffering with Cleveland and bounced all around, and
he was here in Carolina.
It's just you get, and then that's like the Packers. What we're talking about. I mean, they automatically a top 10 offense. They played 2 games with Malik Willis, who didn't even go through training camp with them, and he looked good. But he was right on the bubble with being on the roster in Tennessee. So, some of these organizations just know how to do it.
And when you talk about, we started off talking about the NFC North and how every team in this division has a winning record. But when you look at the resume, none of our resume compares to the Minnesota Vikings. They've beaten some good teams.
Oh, yeah.
Plain and simple. They've beaten some good teams because no matter how you think the 49ers is wounded, that team is legit. We're going to find out when we go out there and play them. They beat a team that beat us, beat them handedly. They beat the Green Bay Packers, a team who we seem to not be able to beat. And then The McCaskies own the Chicago Bears, but I'd be damned if Aaron Rodgers don't hold the leash. They went out there and beat him. So the Minnesota Vikings is for real. They are for real. And I think it's all centered around good coaching.
Yeah. So your boy G Walker CJ thinks
That's the other half of CNG podcast. See, what up?
Shout out to CJ.
He thinks Darnold will continue his strong play. So let me guys ask you something for fun. You're a general manager. You can only draft a quarterback from the North Division with the first pick. Who are you drafting? Yeah. Who are you drafting? North Division only.
You're taking Williams. You're taking Caleb.
You're taking Caleb. Yeah, out of the gate, like him coming out of the gate the way he's come out of the gate in 5 games. We've never seen this from the Chicago Bears fan base. The way he just took off, bro. Like whatever was going wrong after they had that meeting, it's been up, and up. It's been up, and the way that kid can process, the way he can fit a damn football through a keyhole, through the middle of the field, through the Keenan Allen touchdown this week, then the DJ Moore the same touchdown in the middle of the field. His processing is he's just 5 games. Oh my God, bro.
But Walker, do you see what you just said after the meeting? Do you think Jordan Love and Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs and those guys have got to go into Matt LaFleur's offense and ask him about holding people accountable?
Hell no. And it goes back to your point.
Exactly. Coaching matters.
That's matters,
coaching.
Man.
That's coaching.
It matters. And the fact that they had to do that, and Shane is not a rookie offensive coordinator, lets you know, man, he didn't respect the fact that Caleb. I'm gonna go back a little bit. The fact that Caleb threw 52 passes and there was no accountability on a part of that lets you know, back to Chicago fans' point, like that head coach Flus, he's questionable at some shit. Some stuff. He's questionable, man. He's questionable.
So Todd, I take it you would take CW first.
You'd have to looking for the future. I mean, if you had to win one game, it'd be different. But if you're building a team, for sure, you're taking this guy.
Yeah,
he took off, man.
Like I keep saying, I would take Caleb because of this. His ceiling seems to be so high.
Andy, did you see how he torched the middle of the field Sunday?
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't miss a pass in the middle of the field, bro. He didn't miss a pass. That was impressive, man. That was impressive. That middle of the field, he was destroying that middle of the field, bro.
And the only knock on him is that interception, which, if you look at everything else was perfect. The play call was there, the route was there, the everything was there. That was the right play. DJ Moore torched his defensive back. He was wide open. I mean, everything else was there except it was a bad pass. I mean, the play call was beautiful. Everything was beautiful with that play.
Yeah, Caleb will be first.
And
Jordan
he made
Love
the
second.
right choice.
Yeah.
He made the right choice on that throw.
Yeah, Caleb first. I'm gonna say Jordan Love second. And I'm gonna say because of the youth movement, the youth. Caleb is looking better than Jordan Love. I don't know. Y'all can correct me if wrong. Does Caleb look better than Jordan Love his first year? Chicago, anybody can answer that?
Now, Jordan Love is right behind him in pass yards, and he's missed 2-3 games. Caleb's thrown for 1,300.
Oh,
but
no.
First year, Jordan Love struggled. He was on the bench.
Yeah.
So Caleb did okay.
Yeah.
Jordan didn't play for 3 years.
Yeah, he didn't start out, but this season right here, I mean, Caleb's thrown for 1,330, somewhere like that, and Jordan Love is thrown for 1,100 yards and missed 2 games. So that just lets you know that guy can spin it too.
This Viking schedule that Clarence had me look up. This is scary, man. We play them. They can have. They got the Lions this week. This is the between the time now and when we play them.
And the Packers got the Texans.
They're catching the Lions on a good week. I hate to say it, but because they're mine somewhere else. But we'll see. But after that, they're playing the other division that we are. But they got the Rams, the Colts, the Jags, and the Titans. I mean, that's probably 4 wins. I mean, they might have 1 loss when they 9-1 probably at worst when we go there. So, or no, they come to us. But yeah, that's crazy.
So, guys, let me. We only got about 15 minutes left. Let me ask you guys something. You're a general manager again. Put on your GM hat. If you could make a trade for one position on this team, I'm not talking about money or a player. Just one position you would want to upgrade right now. Todd, what would you upgrade?
I'd like to stop the run a little bit better, but I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm probably not taking Dexter out, and Billings has had a good year. So if there were if there was a center worthy, but I can't even say that because Sheldon's played pretty well lately too. So some way to help stop the run. So I guess a nose tackle, or it's not going to be a middle linebacker because nobody plays that anymore. It's a 4-2-5. So I don't know, that or a world class tackle.
G Walker, what position are you upgrading?
Man, I don't want to go offensive line. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm gonna go with another tight end, man. If I can get my hands on another tight end going forward, we'll go with Caleb and just going forward. I will give me a tight end, man. I think I would take my chances with another tight end, man.
Chicago Clarence, what position are you upgrading?
It's very easy for me. I go get another edge rusher. When we go against those offense, when we go against the Detroit Lions offense, when we go against the Minnesota Vikings offense, when we go against the Packers, we need another guy on the other end that can help get to the quarterback. Too many times, and you guys know it, too many times people are sitting back there, we're in a cover 2, and we're getting diced up.
Yeah, we are.
Our defense only tightens up inside the red zone.
Yeah.
But we need to be able to produce some 3 and outs. We got to get their jerseys dirty. And as you know, our defense, Matt Eberflus does not like the blitz, so he's depending on his front four to generate pressure. And a lot of times outside of Sweat, that's not happening. Yeah. Now I know Pickens is not playing yet. We ain't got him back, but Pickens has never been the guy that's going to be a defensive tackle that gets to the quarterback and generates quarterback pressure. We need a guy on the other end.
Yes,
that can help do that. And this is the time, that guy that we made the trade for, he ain't been the guy. I told y'all that when we did it. We hardly heard his name since.
No, we haven't.
We should have went and got Ngakoue or somebody else that could have been a third down quarterback specialist trying to go get the quarterback. And we're going to rule the day that we didn't go get one. I promise you.
The Raiders are throwing in the towel. Maybe you make that call. It's going to be expensive, but it might be worth it.
So Walker, your boy CJ, he said he would upgrade edge and linebacker.
CJ know what he know, man. Yeah, he agreeing with Chicago Clarence, man. You need them S rushers, man. Clarence made a great point about you want all hands on deck when you got to come get them quarterbacks in Green Bay and Minnesota and Detroit. I cannot agree with him more.
So,
I agree,
how would
bro.
you like to see? Would you love to see Max Crosby on the other end opposite Sweat?
What I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
How nasty would that be?
Michael Parsons or Myles Garrett or somebody like that, or Hassan Reddick. Oh, I put that on the page today. Like, we're going to get Reddick or one of them guys.
Give us. If we get one of those guys, now you're talking. Because let me ask y'all something. When is the last time the Chicago Bears had an offense and a defense at the same time?
Not in my lifetime.
Not in my
never.
No.
If you got an offense that can drop 30 points, you remember Super Bowl year? We would sit down, we would sit there and just laugh and talk about, man, if we get to 20, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I remember.
We on the pace right now. It's been 11 games since we've given up 21 points.
That's what it is.
Imagine what will happen right now if we drop that number down.
I think Poe's on the phone. We might not get Micah, but I damn sure guarantee if there's a chance to get Reddick, he gonna get Reddick.
Give up that second-round pick. Give up the Panthers' second-round pick. I'm telling you right now, give it up. When you got a chance, to get to the playoffs and make noise, we already got the defense. I am sitting there praying that they don't think that this defense is enough. Don't let the numbers against bad teams fool you. It ain't enough. We ain't seen what we're going to see when we play the Detroit Lions. That offense don't mess around. You're going to catch some smoke
when we play against them. Probably top 3 in the league. That offensive line is nasty,
Minnesota's is too. Minnesota is too. And they just made a trade and got Cam Akers. They're not messing around.
No.
They're not messing around. So we need to do the same thing. And we need to make moves. And we need to make moves to strengthen up our weaknesses. And we got a few of them. But I tell you right now, our ability to stop another quarterback reigns supreme. With that secondary, if you could speed up a quarterback, it's lights out, brother. That's what you want to do.
I'd pay whatever it took to get Crosby. A 1 and a 2 probably, but I don't know, maybe maybe 2 2s. I don't know. 1 and 2
Give me
twos.
the price, and I'm paying it.
I would do it. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm paying it.
Yeah.
You got Caleb on this rookie deal.
So there's gonna be, like y'all
Afford to
saying, there's
do
gonna be
this.
wars in this
Do
division.
it.
If you want to stay,
Yeah.
wars every year, man, you're gonna need an edge rusher, man. Absolutely, because these quarterbacks can play. Jordan Love, Darnold, yeah, these guys can play, man. You're gonna have to go all in on another edge rusher. I agree. Totally.
Name
For
your
sure.
price. I'm paying it.
Yeah, for Crosby, I am for sure.
I guess I'm in the minority again. I would go for the old adage: you get your franchise quarterback, you get him weapons, and you protect him. I would do something else with the offensive line.
So he can anticipate that stuff, and it buys him a second,
I mean,
man.
and
that's how you
our
turn
boy-
an average line into a pretty good line.
Our boy Chicago Clarence has sold me on we need to move Braxton Jones. Anybody that gets beat constantly, the book on Braxton Jones, you beat him with the bull rush, and he constantly
Yeah, the
gets
bull rush,
beat.
because he hasn't given up a
Constantly.
hurry or a rush or a sack in like 200 snaps. He was like top 5 in like in a couple of categories. I just seen on one of those PFF things. I don't know if y'all believe in PFF, but
No.
yeah, man, Braxton
Because
Jones.
it used to say Charles Leno
Yeah.
was a top 10 left tackle. And you know that's a lie.
right, and he got
So
paid
guys-
when he went to the Redskins. I mean, the Commanders didn't he get paid?
But yeah, but how long did that last? They wanted their money back after 4 games.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but let me tell you, let me throw this at you. Instead of going out there and making a trade for the offensive line, how about this? Why don't we just take Tevin Jenkins, slide him to left tackle? You bring in Pryor, who's already at he's playing right guard right now.
Yeah.
All right. So you can put Bates at left guard. You leave Shelton in, and then you got Pryor, and you got Darnell Wright.
Whatever
There's
works.
your offensive line.
Yeah.
Whatever worked. But
And
where's
you
Karan at?
make Charles
Where's Karan?
Leno swing, and that can work. And you ain't got to go out there and give up capital to improve that. We know we're going to address that in the offseason. We're going to have the picks to do it. But we need to make a Super Bowl run right now.
Yeah.
And the answer to that is a quarterback pass rush. That's what we need. We need to get
I agree.
somebody because we need to speed the quarterback up. And like I said, with our secondary, particularly if we're going to lose Gordon, we need his ass back there thinking about not getting hit.
Mhm.
That's right.
So I guess I'm in the minority. So guys, we have about 6 minutes left. So Todd, real quick, what's your final thoughts on the state of our Chicago Bears right now?
It's good. I can't. I mean, I haven't been this optimistic since 1985, right? So, but it's great. I mean, it's not perfect. We talk about flus and mistakes and stuff, but it's good, and I'm real happy with it.
G. Walker, tell everybody where you can find us or find yourself. I mean, and what are your final thoughts on our Chicago Bears?
What's going on, everybody? It's G Walker, one half of the CNG podcast. You can find the CNG podcast. You see the logo right here. You can find us on X. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. My final thoughts about the Chicago Bears is this. We got the quarterback, man. We got the secondary. We got the linebackers. We got the GM. You know what I mean? We got the offensive coordinator. We got the punter. We got this. We got the corner.
Yes.
We got everything we almost
We do
need.
have the
We
bunker.
just got to get we just got to get the O-line together. But like I said in one of our previous shows, Caleb Williams is going to be one of those quarterbacks that make that offensive line better than what it is, bro.
Yeah.
And the further we go along, we're going to see that. And we're starting to see that. He's going to make that offensive line look better than what it is. And he's starting to do that.
Mhm.
So my
Yep.
final thoughts is that we're setting the table for ourselves to be better than what we are. I think Ryan Poles has put this team 2 years ahead of itself with Caleb Williams being who he is, man.
Yeah.
I said it on one of our old shows. I said, man, if Caleb Williams pans out, we're going to be 2 years advanced than what we should be. And it started to look that way. So my final thought is this. I'm happy to be a Chicago Bears fan, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for us, man, this season and beyond, man. I'm happy. Finally, we got a quarterback. Finally.
My final thoughts are I'm happy to be a Chicago fan because I know I'm going to get booed off the show. I also love hockey, and I think we got a superstar in Eric Bedard.
CJ got a podcast with hockey. CJ's a hockey fan, so y'all will get along.
Clarence his head is down. But no, I think we got 2 superstars in Chicago right now, Bedard and Caleb Williams, and I can't wait to see where their ceiling is. I can't
TJ
wait.
will agree with you.
I can't wait. So, Clarence, why don't you take us home and tell us where you can find us? Tell everybody where you can find us.
Well, everybody, as you know, this is the bye week, so we are not going to be at Max Speed Shop, but you can find us the following week, 1 o'clock game. I'm calling it the showdown, 1 versus 2. When we give the it's been moved to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they moved it.
That's
Yeah, they
what's
flexed it.
up. That's what's up.
We're the game of the week at the 4 o'clock.
That's
slot.
what's up. Well, Washington Commanders is going to get a good dose of act right when we hit Washington, D.C. But let me tell you, I'm not even going to give you no Chicago Bear love right now. We've been talking about him for a whole hour. My love is going to be directed towards my boy who got his first win in fantasy football this week.
Jesus Christ.
You know, it got tight for him, but my guy dug down deep and he got his first win. He's got the same record as the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. So
I'm
I don't know who's pulling the strings over there, but he might have saved this season. He's
No.
1-5.
No.
And then he executed a trade and gave me Christian McCaffrey. And it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving as soon as McCaffrey gets back in. Thank you, Andy. That's my dog.
Hey, just for the record, I like CJ even more because he's a hockey fan. He says
He does a whole
Bedard is
Black
the
Hawks
truth.
podcast, man.
He says
We're not just
Bedard is
a
the
Book
truth.
Bears here. Yeah, he does a whole Black Hawks podcast, man.
Bedard is the truth. So, guys, with that, I'm just going to say bear down. I can't wait for the Washington game. So, guys, until next time, bear down.
Bear down.
Peace. Later.